Hey everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Tia and it's Friday. Happy Fibro Friday, you all. It's been such a long week and I had a flare, sadly. So I am coming out of that flare and feeling a little bit tired and not as exuberant as normal, but I'll try to bring my best energy. I just didn't want this week to go by without me doing a Fibro Friday for you all because my goal is to provide that information every single Friday that I have an idea. And I have an idea because this is something I've mentioned before. I don't think I've done a full video. I know I've mentioned it, and I'm promising you I'm not going to look through my videos to find where I mentioned it. But I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't think I've done a full video. So it's time for a full video. And yeah, I couldn't have done a full video because some of the things that I found when I researched were new to me. So if I had done the video before, I would have already done that research and I would have known it. So today, you already saw the cover photo. We're talking about soursop leaves. This is a bag I got from my local international market, and I spent $2.60 US before tax. And it's a great product, and I'm going to tell you why I use it and what you can use it for and how I've actually used it during my flare. So let's get our disclaimers out the way. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Everything I'm saying is anecdotal. And if I have any references that may be of use to you, and I do, I'll put them in the description box and you can do your own due diligence. Please consult a doctor before changing anything. And that doctor could be your MD, it could be your ND, it could be your PhD. Doesn't matter. Consult somebody else who is authorized to give you health and medical advice before you try this. I will tell you some of the conditions too that are impacted by it that I saw. So I won't leave you completely in the dark. If one of those conditions apply, then definitely tread carefully. But if it doesn't apply, then still go to your doctor. So soursop. Soursop is a plant. It does not grow where I live. So this has to be shipped to me. Going to a local store, it will probably get you a more reasonable price for the leaves and the fruit because it's a fruit-bearing plant. The fruit is delicious. I've had it in a juice. It's fantastic. But you can also use the leaves as I do. So the research that's been done on soursop, and when you do your research too, remember to not just focus on blogs that offer like anecdotal stuff. Do some of the peer-reviewed stuff too. Time-consuming, yes, but due diligence is priceless. So definitely check out peer-reviewed and scholarly articles about this as well. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I read when I went to Webmd. So chock full of vitamins and minerals that are just great for health in general, both the fruit and the tea. The fruit in particular is interesting to scientists because it looks like it has some antibacterial and anti-cancer properties. So more research needs to be done to see exactly how well that works. If you are someone who is trying to find alternatives to treat cancer, I'm sure you're already familiar with this research. This is not new. But for those that are not experienced with it, again, WebMD will have the link to the scholarly article, and I will put the WebMD link below. But we're not talking about those properties that are in the fruit. We're talking about the tea. Drinking the tea is great for getting some of those vitamins and minerals like I mentioned. But what I use the tea for specifically is sleep. So over on the Jamaican cooking journey, and I know I've referenced this before, so pretend you haven't heard it already because I'm not going to find the video where I reference it. I don't think I am anyway. So on the Jamaican cooking journey, Debbie, the hostess over there, mentioned that soursop tea made with the leaves is fantastic for helping you force your body to rest if you have difficulty resting. Now, I have difficulty resting because I have fibromyalgia. You all know fibromyalgia is not a muscle disorder. It is a neurological issue. And so my nerves are basically hyperactive. So what soursop does is it helps calm your nerves. And again, anecdotal, but that's been my experience. So what I do is I prepare the leaves just like she said, 4 or 5 leaves to maybe 2 liters of water, bring it to a boil, then simmer it for 45 minutes. Then strain, and you've got quite a few cups of tea there. You can sweeten or not. I don't sweeten it. The main thing is you want to at least get that tea all done and start consuming it, especially in the evening. She doesn't recommend you consume it before you have to drive or do something else active. I 100% agree. And I don't just agree because of my own experience with it helping to sedate a bit. I say that because it's a new product. You don't want to try it at any time where you're doing something that may impact others, like driving. So I drink the tea usually in the evenings, and what I notice is that it absolutely just kind of brings me down and gives me one of the deepest sleeps ever, which is a really refreshing thing because I'm a person who just a couple of years ago, when I first was diagnosed with fibro, my sleep was horrible, and it wasn't because of poor practices, though that was a factor. That wasn't the only thing. Literally, I was waking up every hour and a half. Like it was intense and it was exhausting. Now I can absolutely sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, no problem, and sleep really well, especially when I drink my tea. So here's what you need to know. If you are someone who suffers from diabetes, this is not encouraged. This particular tea is not encouraged, or the fruit. You might want to be a little more cautious if you decide to try either one if you have diabetes. Also, some people, by drinking this, they exhibit Parkinson-like symptoms. So some of the shakes and stuff that you might see in someone who has Parkinson's, this tea can cause that in some people. I want to put out there that for those whose nervous systems are already a little jittery, you may find that this doesn't make you jittery at all. Kind of compare it, and this is just me, again, not a doctor. Kind of think of how certain drugs that are prescribed to people with ADHD will help them to focus, but someone who does not suffer from ADHD taking the same drug would experience ADHD-like symptoms. They would have an inability to focus properly. They would experience the opposite of someone who has the issue that that drug was designed to treat. I think of this tea in a very similar way. If you have what I would consider a fairly normally functioning nervous system, drinking a lot of this may not be the move. But if you are someone whose nervous system is on alert all the time, you may find it finally gives you a little bit of a reprieve from all of that anxious energy that you may have. So that's the first thing. I drink it at night and it definitely calms me down. I also sometimes will drink it during the day, especially a day where I don't have a lot of mentally intense activity. I'll drink it because I just like the flavor of it. It's very mild. It tastes herbal, but not bitter at all, especially if you prepare it the way Debbie describes. It's not bitter. I like it a lot just for sipping during the day. I'll do it on a day where I have a light schedule. I'll just make a cup and or I'll pour myself a cup. If I've already made a big batch, I'll pour myself a cup and I'll just sip. And I keep looking over because my cup is there and I'm debating, will I get it? Yeah, I'll bring it in. I'll bring in the cup. This is the cup. As you can see, number one sister. This is not my cup. I have brothers, but they didn't buy me this cup. This is my mom's cup from her sister. And I just like it because it was ready and I could pour myself some tea. So yes, you can drink it. And if you are someone who suffers from poor sleep, I say try something like that. It is sedating, and I don't advise you drink it if you're going to operate machinery or anything like that. But the sedating factor for me was not so bad that I absolutely couldn't function. It wasn't like taking an over-the-counter drug for sleep. Like it wasn't like that. But did it help? Yes. And it gave me the kind of sleep that absolutely felt more restorative than what I normally get. So that's that about soursop. Let me see, what else did I have to say about soursop? All the details you need will be in the description box. I'm using this, of course, alongside my regimen that I've already been doing, so I haven't stopped anything. I'm still taking multivitamins. I'm still taking turmeric. Um, I'm going to probably do an updated supplement video at some point because I'm eager to try a few new things and see how that works for me. But so far, so good. All I did so far is just add this in, and it's been good. I've been sleeping better, and that helped a lot during this last flare because usually the key to recovery from anything is resting, taking away your body's workload, I guess you could say. And once you reduce your activity level and you just kind of put yourself down for a little while, you can give your body a chance to take those resources that were normally used for other things and put it toward healing. And that's what I found really does happen when you sleep enough. Your body heals a lot. And so that's why I drink soursop tea. It gives me better sleep. And I'm someone who needs it because of my nerve stuff. So yeah, that's it. And I talked way longer than I anticipated. I thought this would be a bit shorter, but it's Fibro Friday. We can splurge a little bit on the time. Anyway, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments for me, or any comments about using soursop. If you've used it, let me know. I'd love to hear your stories about it. And one more time before we leave, I'm not a doctor and this is not medical advice. Please talk to a doctor before you try anything that I mentioned. And also do your own reading. All the links that you need will be below for your convenience. So that's it for today. Please have a great and safe weekend, and I'll talk to you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.